Get him in here, Gabe. Get him in here. For those of you online, thank you so much for joining us. Let's see, we got 7 o'clock right on the dot. I'm gonna wait about 1 more minute. We got a couple people out there. So, Victor, if you're listening, can you go ahead and stop the music? I can hear music in here. Victor is the IT guy. There it is. Ah, look at him go. He's awesome. Good job, Victor. So you don't even need IT anymore in person. They just are just there online in the background. So every week, guys, or I'm sorry, every month, Quest really wants to host more of these type of socials. We really do. A lot of people during the pandemic, right? They got away from doing events in person. Is everyone in here trying to do something real estate related or investment wise, oil and gas? I got some energy space guys here, something along those lines, right? So the thing is, if you're looking to be an investor, it is always easier to be an investor in person. All right. Making those face-to-face connections, actually seeing people. So we try to bring people more in person. We give you guys free beer. We bring some decent food in. I don't know if you guys had any of that pizza. That pizza is actually really good. I'm a pizza snob. I tried to start a pizza restaurant. Yeah. Tried is definitely the right word. So ultimately, guys, if you do want to, we're going to be hosting these events on a consistent basis. Please check us out. We do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. They're really the ones that paid for all your guys' drinks and our food. So the first sponsor I want to bring up here is Gabe from Blink Lending. Someone give Gabe a quick round of applause. Sponsors?
Yeah.
Well, don't you worry. I got you.
Oh, you gotta.
Yeah. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk, Gabe. I'll just stand like this.
I'll stand like this, Derek. Hi, guys. Gabe Lukish, Blink Lending. We are a full-service lender. Anything that can be collateralized by a land or house, we can lend on it. What that means, anything commercial, anything construction, we're working on picking up approval departments all the time, left and right, that will help mitigate risk and help manage to get the funds that you need to get your project done. Single family, multifamily, commercial. What else? Another caveat of anything traditional, right? Let's do conventional loans, a house to live in, house you want to, refinancing. It's not the best idea right now, but refinancing, unless you're in a private money loan or hard money loan, that's a different conversation, right? Brings me to that point. We do that as well. We raise funds internally. At that point, we then sell the note. Anybody here interested in buying notes? Passive income. Right. Absolutely. Thank you, Nicole. That's also a caveat or a aspect of our business. Blinklending.com. Check us out on Facebook, any social media platform. Again, blinklending.com. My name is Gabe. For a minute, we're going to have we'll be here. No, I'm just kidding. We'll be here for a long time. And go Astros.
Go Astros. Gabe, don't go anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere.
All right. So real stories, I think I have right now, I've done 6 loans with you guys, I believe.
Yes.
Yep. So I've done 6 loans. And one of the most unique things out there is anyone ever borrowed money from either a hard money lender or a private money lender for a deal? One of the best things that they actually do for me is they actually give me and Kelsey, it's Kelsey that I always end up working with.
Love
I think.
Kelsey. Yep. Absolutely.
She gives me this breakdown, and this breakdown is the most unique thing you'll ever see, because what it does is says, hey, if you can put this much money down, here is going to be your monthly payment. Here is XYZ. But if you want to go here, and we can lower the interest rate, but this will be this rate, this will be that. And they actually break it down real nice and simple.
Options. It's always about options. Giving you guys Derek, but any of you guys, options. It's a seesaw.
Lastly is, I think the biggest thing for me was the fees. Understand, guys, no matter what lender you go with, there's going to be fees associated with. But you guys really didn't have junk fees. You didn't have and I'm calling them junk fees, but you didn't have yeah.
No, that's it. Absolutely no junk fees. There are, of course, origination at closing on hard money and private money loans, right? Origination. There's an underwriting fee. Anything after that, unless you are negligent, there is no additional fees after closing. You need a draw request. Great. Awesome. Free. Included. Free. Wire free. Everything. Prepayment penalty. No prepayment. Nothing. It's just all inclusive with
It makes it really easy. It does. So I appreciate it.
You know exactly what you're going to pay every month. We do it on a per day basis. So that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Gabe.
No, thank you, Derek.
Yeah, no worries.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yes, we service our own loans. Absolutely. Yes. We take, again, eternally fund the loans, and then we sell them to passive investors, the notes, and then we service in between. Our lenders are our pride and joy. So we pay them first, and then we make sure that we get collection from the borrower.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Gabe.
Sweet. Astros.
Go Astros. So the next person I wanted to bring up here, it's actually just kind of a special treat. So he's not really labeled as a sponsor if you ever look on our website or anything like that, but it's, I guess he doesn't like the recognition. So Adam, can I have you come up here for a minute? Yeah. Ah, no idea. So Adam here, if you ever watch a lot of our classes, right around April timeframe, we have him on a lot. We have you on a lot of different panels and everything else. Why do we have you on so much, Adam?
Because I'm so handsome, Derek.
Oh, is that what it is? Because you're handsome. It's because he's handsome. All righty.
No, I'm a CPA here in Houston. I help out Quest clients a lot with questions on UBTI, unrelated business taxable income, and filing of Form 990T, which is like a tax return for your IRA. These are things that might apply to you if you're investing in your IRA and you have either a debt leveraged investment or an investment in operating business. So we do a lot of this type of work with Quest clients. And in addition to that, we also do a lot of work with real estate investors and especially syndicators of multifamily or other deals that you need help with getting those partnership returns done on time, getting your K1s out to your investors. That's a big component of the work that we do.
You also recently made partner, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, last year. Yeah.
Yeah. I say recently, but look at that.
Yeah. So yeah,
you're a pretty young guy to be making partner in your firm.
So yeah, I'm one of the partners at the firm. But if you guys have any tax questions, I really enjoy explaining things, so you can see me after. And it's I'm happy to be.
No, here. He actually answers. So what's actually really cool is he does answer his emails, answer his phone pretty consistently. We were actually just having a chat earlier, which is really nice. So
I appreciate that. And I have to say a nice thing about Gabe because he's being my cheerleader back there. I always think of him as the guy with the sharp suits, and the really nice shoes to go with him. He's just a cool dude. So, I mean, if I'm going to borrow money from anybody, it's going to be from a cool dude. So that's all I got.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam. All right. So before we get started, guys, I just want to make one more shout out. I can't have you come up here, but make sure you guys check out Steve Vehol. Steve, raise your hand. Steve runs the Wealth Club. He actually just moved into the building. He actually is the guy that got me started in real estate investing. Every investment I currently own, he is vetted. So make sure you just talk to him. He knows what he's doing. So yeah, thanks, Steve. So outside of that, we're going to go ahead and switch gears and go ahead and just start to talk about, is that the right slide? All right, bam. I want to bring up our next speaker, but he's really going to be talking a lot about affordable homes. And I think there's a lot of things out there in the market right now, understanding that there's too many of these multifamily syndications and stuff where why are multifamily so expensive? Why are the single family homes also so expensive? So how can someone own a home and still have it be affordable? And what's funny is I've known this gentleman for coming up on about 4 or 5 years now, and he's probably affected more people in the real estate industry than everyone else in this room combined. So Glenn, why don't you come on up, and I'm going to give Glenn Stromberg a big round of applause. Is your mic on?
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on.
All right, good.
It's all yours, Glenn.
Derek, thank you very much.
Anything you let me know.
Thank you very much. First of all, it's a pleasure and an honor to be here tonight. It really is. And, the Astros, I think, hurt attendance a little bit tonight, but I think, I understand. I totally understand. But yeah, this is our company's mission statement. We're a faith-based company. We want to bring glory to God in everything that we do. So, disclaimer, what I'm going to do tonight is this is solely for educational purposes. Okay. This is solely for educational purposes, standard, whatever. I hope my goal is that you will learn something tonight. I have a very unique asset class. Very, very few people do it. And I think I'm hoping you'll get a lot out of it this evening. So, I'll just throw this up here fast, but like I say, this is my motto: love God, he's my CEO, love people, be humble, company model, do unto others you want done to you, exceeding expectation with investors and tenants. Do we always do that? No, but we try. We always try. We do a great job. I think in most cases we do for sure. So here's what this is what I'd say is I call it the best kept secret in real estate investing. And I believe it from the bottom of my heart because very few people understand what we do. Okay. It's manufactured homes. I'm going to use the word mobile home, manufactured homes, that they mean the same thing. Okay. They mean the exact same thing. So if I say mobile, don't get confused. The first thing I always want to start out with, these are not mobile home parks. Okay. Mobile home parks are a whole different asset class. It could be great, but I'll get into what it is. But, people sometimes will say, who would invest in mobile homes? All right, there we go. Anyone know this guy? He bought the biggest mobile home company in America, Clayton Homes, right? I actually had a franchise back with them. So my joke is always I was partners with Warren Buffett. I never met him, but he bought Clayton Homes and he totally understands the value of affordable housing. So Ben Carson was the former the HUD secretary. The one thing, how many people in here believe there's an affordability crisis in America right now for housing? I mean, I've never seen it in all my years in the business. Houston, I think, is similar, maybe more, but in the DFW area now, a 3-bedroom, the average rent for a 3-bedroom is $2,500 a month. I mean, that's not affordable. And look what home prices are doing right now, right? I mean, with interest rates and so forth, from the beginning of this year until now, homes it's $1,000 a month. You've gone from 2 point something to 3 to I guess 7.25 is the blended rate, right? Or is the rate right now. So there is a real affordability crisis in America. I totally believe that. I'm not going to talk along with this, but like I say, the first line is I'm old. Okay, so I've been doing this a long time. I have owned mobile home parks in the past. Can be a tremendous investment. Developed mobile home subdivisions, had 13 retail sales centers at one time. My current business model is I've had it in place since 2006. Had the Clayton Home franchise, partners with Warren Buffett. I told you that, which I never met him. So, but here's where I always want to start out too. Okay. A manufactured home, when it leaves the factory, is personal property. It's just like a car. Okay, it's got a car, it's got a title, and it's you can leave it personal property. That is not what we do. Okay, every property that we buy is real property. We're buying the manufactured home. Typically, it's on a half an acre to an acre tract of land, and it's got a deed of trust or a mortgage on it, depending on the state. So it's real estate. People always ask me, well, don't mobile homes depreciate? Well, the answer is yes and no. Okay. A personal property mobile home absolutely will depreciate. For sure it does, right? Real property mobile homes appreciate fantastic. Okay. Case in point, properties that we bought in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in 2014, they were probably around $60,000 all in. Once again, some are higher, some are lower, but I'm going to say that's the average. Those homes are selling for $200,000. So has there been good appreciation? Absolutely good appreciation. Both can be very lucrative. There are things you can do with personal property mobile homes. If you control the land, it can be a great affordable, put out a great affordable product out there. The reason that I don't have much competition, when people say the word mobile home, this is what they think of. How many people, anybody here thinks that's what a mobile home looks like? Okay, and it's common that people think that, right? That's probably a 1970s model that was, like I say, it wasn't too good, right? But that's not our model. Okay, we don't. It's not mobile home parks. We're buying homes on acreage. A lot of them you can literally get in manufactured homes today every amenity that you can get in a single family home. Granite countertops, you can get tape and texture throughout. There's, it's kind of similar to the car industry too, right? Or just like building too, right? There's a low end, a medium, and a high end, right? So you can get the beauty of it is they're usually a third to a half of a single family home. and the rents are proportionally much higher. They're proportionally much higher. So just some pictures, and yes, sir.
Are you buying these? So I get the depreciation side. You're not buying new homes, though. You're buying homes that have
We're buying
depreciation value.
We're buying existing homes that are already there. Okay, we're buying existing homes. We're going in, we're rehabbing it, fixing it up like new, putting a tenant in there. That's our model.
That's the depreciation model.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So
It's very similar to buying a single family home, rehabbing it as a rental.
it's exactly the same thing, but with a manufactured home.
So you flip these, why not be the bank on?
Because if I would have been the bank on them and locked in my interest rate back in 2014, I'd have lost a lot of money. Yeah, I'd have lost that. And there's nothing wrong with taking a note and being the bank. I get that, right? I just chose to do the property management side. That's what I chose to do. I just, because I wanted the appreciation, I want the cash flow, I want that it's, and plus, if in Texas, pretty much, right? If you do have to evict a tenant, it takes roughly 3 weeks, right? The course got backed up a little bit during COVID, but if you got to foreclose on somebody, it can be a whole lot longer. So there's pros and cons to both. I've done notes, a lot of notes in the past too. So, but yeah, just like I say, just the pictures. I'll put these up here real quick too. The homes are secured to an FHA foundation, right? They're tied into FHA, right? Like investors cannot get, you cannot get FHA financing, but the person living in the home, if they want to buy it, they can get FHA financing. Same as a single family home. Like I say, typically a half an acre to an acre, 1,400 to 2,000 square feet. Same materials as a single family home. The flooring, it's basically the same thing. If you've never gone and seen a manufactured home, you should do it.
You're not moving these homes off the original site.
We are not.
That changes the finance.
Changes everything. No. We're buying them existing on the property. Yes. Okay. Now we're in the process of looking at doing a new home development. That's a whole nother thing, but we're not there yet. But I believe there's going to be a lot of opportunity in manufactured homes in the next 10 years because there's no affordable housing. There's just no affordable housing. So upgraded. Yes.
So I'm looking to build a manufacturer's home, mobile home subdivision.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to some people who do it already, and I look at some of the prices. It's like pretty much as building a house conditioning. So the new mobile home is very, very expensive now.
Compared to building.
No, like if I order a new, mobile home or modular construction, the price is very expensive compared to pretty much maybe 20,000 to 30,000 less compared to conventional homes.
Not the ones we do. No, that's that. I mean, there are ones that are. Now, modular is another. That's another classification. What's that?
She's talking about new versus what you're.
I guess. So, what's your question?
My question is that I guess it's more like my question is that right now the new modular home is it's almost as expensive as the new build. So
Modular could be, but these are manufactured. It's apples and oranges. Manufactured is not modular. No, the manufactured is substantially. If you go to Clayton Homes and go look at their prices, it's going to be substantially less than what. Franklin is a very good high-end home. Absolutely, very very good high-end home.
Yeah. 1,400 square feet new modular home costs about $150,000 up $160,000. Just for 1,400 square feet.
Franklin's probably one of the highest ones out there. That's probably one of the most upper end. But no, there's varying degrees of and no, you can get them a lot. Yeah, we can talk. I could talk after them. You get a lot less expensive than that for sure. Absolutely. So one thing, my dad was a mason contractor and he did some building in Chicago. He came and looked at about 15 of my properties, and it's just, he said, he goes, these are built better than a lot of the track houses in Chicago. So, that was, and that was good to hear, right? It was really good to hear that. So, so I'm just going to throw these up here and just kind of run. Oops, I went too fast here. Like I say, typically a third to a half of what a site built home is. Builders, I've got a lot of friends that are builders. There's a lot of builders sitting on the sidelines right now. They're not building. You got all kinds of issues out there, materials, subdivisions. People are kind of afraid right now. They say in America right now, we're depending who you listen to, we're 5.5 million to 6 million houses short right now of what's needed out there, right? So that's why apartment complexes are going up everywhere, and they're going through the roof too. So, but much lower maintenance costs. You don't have the foundation problems, the plumbing issues. I don't know about I do know about the Houston area, but the Dallas-Fort Worth area is the worst in the country for ground movement, right? And you hear $30,000-$40,000 foundation repairs. With a manufactured home, you undo it, you level it probably $1,500 to $2,000. You're all set up, right? So quality construction. We bought over 600 properties in the last 7 years. It's all private lenders. We don't use banks. We'll get into our exit strategy with our investors, and we just want to create win-wins. We've got roughly 175 investors deploying somewhere around $1.5 million a month. Roughly 40% of our investors are using IRA funds. Quest is a great business partner for us. We've done tons of business with Quest clients, and I think Quest, and I really mean this. I know I'm speaking at a Quest event, but Quest is a phenomenal company, and the reason is they do these type of events, right? They provide the education, they give people the tool.
Or you buy nationwide?
We buy in 4 states, which I'll get into that in a second. We buy in 4 states, and now our favorite state is Texas. That's our favorite state. Okay, yeah. So it's and you just teed up my next slide, right? The state. Where are people moving to, right? It's a very, very important thing. So there's 2 things. We choose. Our model is, like I say, we buy the home, we fix it up like new, we put a tenant in there. Okay, that's our model. Okay, and so we rent it out, we property manage it for our investors. Our investors are passive. They're totally passive, right? So, you want to be in the good landlord states, right? I don't want to be in New York, California, Illinois, places like that. But we're actually in Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Those are the 4 states that we're in, and they're all good, friendly landlord states. But this is an interesting slide of what's happening in America right now, right? People are moving out of certain states, moving into others, right? So, I'm going to just go through this really quick, and like I say, the most important thing when you're doing buy and hold real estate, right, is the property management side. And so some of the things that we do, I don't want to go through too much. I want to leave a lot of time for questions at the end, and I appreciate the questions during too. But knowledgeable of the markets, tenant screening is super important. Income versus debt ratio, credit check. We do eviction checks, sex offender checks. Lower credit scores, we get a bigger deposit. We make sure we're verifying references. Setting expectations is really important. I've learned this a long time ago. I heard with the Clayton, when I had the Clayton Homes franchise, they always said, we got to get the money before the car people do. We got to get it before they do. That was the thing, right? So when we're signing a lease with a tenant, we just let them know. We say, look, basically you've got two responsibilities. We have one. We have to give you a good habitable house that everything works in good shape. You can see it is correct. You've got 2 responsibilities with us. Number 1, you have to pay and pay on time. You can, the first is due on the 1st. The 3rd is acceptable. The 4th we don't collect, we evict. And I'll slow down and say, okay, if you went to work all month, and your boss didn't pay you, how do you feel? That's exactly how I feel. I'm a nice guy, but we always say we'll throw you out so fast it'll make your head spin if you don't pay, right? And then it's taking care of the property. That's the other thing too, right? If we'll do 2 inspections a year. If they're not taking care of the property, we'll move them out for that too. So we always do a FaceTime, Skype, or Zoom call. Want to always see them face to face. We do $100 deductible. We ask that they take care of the little things that's in the lease. They'll take care of the little things. We take care of the major things. And guess what? All the major things are covered. We're putting in new appliances, new air conditioning, everything that's going to be a warranty item. We're putting in new anyway. So, tenant turnover, we always call before 90 days. What are your intentions? And we'll do a 1 or a 2 year lease with people. People are liking 2 year leases now because they're going up so fast, right? So they like to get locked in on that. But and then full-time maintenance staff and easy today due to, like I say, I can really say this. Our leasing line calls, they just ring off the hook, right? There's just, if, the typical apartment is 2,000 plus, right? And so we're providing much more square footage, much more land, got a couple, like a family with one or two children. They've got the land. The good thing is too, we're more in the suburbs and the subdivision or the suburbs and where the school districts are better too. I mean, like the Dallas-Fort Worth school districts are not really, they're not they're not sought after. I put it that way, right? A lot of the suburb ones are. So, this is a good story because it could be timely. It kind of could be about COVID, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot during, in 2006, 2007. Life was big and bold. I was doing the same things I was doing today. Fixing and flipping the homes, 2 to 4 a month, making $20,000 to $40,000 a deal out of my house with really no overhead. Life was good. It was really, really good, right? I had roughly 18 properties in the fix and flip process, and then it happened, right? How many people were in the market in 2008? Okay, in 2008, I mean, did the capital markets freeze? It was like you couldn't give a house away. There was just the capital markets literally froze, right? So it was the crash of 2008, right? But here's kind of some of the things that I learned. Affordable housing is always in demand. It doesn't matter how bad things get. There's two things people are going to do. They're going to eat first, have a roof over their head second. Everything else is negotiable. Right. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. And when especially in today's market with the lack of affordable housing, it's like I say, people are it's so easy for us to find 4 to 5 good tenants for the houses now. So I always say our model works great in good economic times, works even better in bad economic times. Right. And, interest rates are forcing, it's slowing down the housing market to some degree, right? Prices have gone up so much now. Interest rates, it could be $1,000 more a month than it was at the beginning of this year, like we said. So, some of the advantage of single family home, that I believe for a single family home is it's a great inflation hedge, right? I mean, how many people think the real inflation rate is what the CPI index says? I don't either. Okay. So that's a good response. Okay. I mean, I think most people, there's a guy, John Williams Shadow Stats, that he calculates the inflation rate and how it used to be. And he thinks the real inflation rate is about 18% right now. Right. I mean, that's pretty substantial. Right. And I get it in this, it's kind of crazy right now. I think most people feel like we're in kind of a crazy time right now? Or does it feel different than other times? Okay. To me, it does. It just, I mean, you're seeing all these signs. COVID was weird. Just, the stock market, bond market are going down together right now, which is that usually doesn't happen, right? Inflation's through the roof, supply chain issues. There's weird stuff going on, right? So, I think real estate, single family homes are a good, safe inflation hedge. That's what I've learned. Okay. Appreciation grows tax deferred, right? When you own single family home, manufactured home on land, they grow tax deferred. You don't pay taxes until you sell it. In my opinion, it's the best, safest way to build wealth. This is like I said, this is what we do with our investors. Okay, we have a couple different things that we do, but it's a turnkey model. Okay, it's a turnkey model, and The investor is totally passive. We do everything for them. The typical investment is like 85 to 125. The investor owns the house, right? We're selling the house to the investor. We're property managing it for them. The investor gets tax benefits, depreciation, 100% of cash flow and profits upon sale of the property. Investor must pay for all repairs, options. That's obviously there's going to be repairs over time, right? So we manage the property for them. They have the right to manage it themselves, but I would say 98% of our investors, we manage it for them because they want to do it and be passive. And so history has shown the typical returns average 12 to 14%, somewhere in that neighborhood. I think I'm conservative there for the most part, and I put on the bottom there, no one can predict the future, but what's happened over time is that equity and appreciation and rent increases more than take care of the repairs and maintenance. Okay. Everything's going up fast right now, right? I mean, rents are going up like exponentially. Materials are going up too. Materials, it's a real thing, but usually the appreciation, the rent increases outpaces that. What I do here is I wrote a book a long time ago. You can tell I was younger looking back then. But it was I don't want to make any money on it, but if you did want to give a donation, if you want it, I'll send you a free one. But anything goes to Christian Media International is where I donate the money to. There was more. There was I did this. This is on our company website too. And then here's information if if you want to contact us. And then also, one other deal we just came up with, relatively new last month. Okay, this is for our investors. We came up with, it's a fund. Okay, it's a fund. It's an affordable housing fund. We tried to structure it great for both short-term and long-term investors. Okay. Great. It's great. It's great for an IRA. It's fantastic for an IRA. You can set it, forget it. It's a 1-year hold. So it's a 1-year term, 8% pref, paid quarterly. We're projecting it's going to be a 10% return because we're giving 30% equity on it, equity split. You can take the cash flow or you can compound it, right? In an IRA, you can compound it. Tax benefits to the investor, of course, outside of the IRA. We're passing along the depreciation. Don't have to be an accredited investor. The plan is to season it for a couple of years, hopefully, and sell it to a hedge fund at a crazy multiple, right? But we can't put that on pro forma. We can't put that on the PPM or anything because that's always. But what we did too was we've got a lot of we've had interest on with high net worth investors can increase the equity split. So we did a 500K that they can do 50%, 1 million 70% recession resistant asset class, and that's the fund is called mobilevested.com. So that's what the fund is called, and that, like I say, these are just ideas. Anybody in this room, you can opening a fund. I know how many people here do funds? I do funds too, and I like a balance of funds and owning and so forth. So yeah, that's. I'll go back to the other information. Well, I guess I should just leave that up. But so yeah, I wanted to leave time for questions here. Be happy to take any questions that anybody has here. Yeah. There are, but there's not a lot. You're not going to get Freddie and Fannie loans. You're talking about an investor, correct? Yeah, no. For investor, no. If you're going to live in the home, you can get the same single family financing, or the same FHA financing. You get conventional financing. You can get all that. But if for an investor, it's usually small town banks. Like I said, we use private investors, right? Because it's a great way to do it to create win-wins for investors. It's good for us, good for investors. So that's how we structure it, because, and really bank financing right now, I mean, look at the rates. They're not, I mean, they were good. They're not anymore. They're not good anymore. So you know, like, are you talking like, yeah, most banks won't do it. No, most banks, unless you're, I mean, if you've got the relationship with the bank, you've got the, money in their bank, and you're, solid credit, everything. Yeah, they probably, oh, absolutely. No, you can get the same financing as a single family home. Yeah. Yes.
So just to make sure I understand, I guess your business model is you guys identify, you actually purchase the properties and then sell them to the investors and then manage them afterwards.
If they choose to do a turnkey, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's we've done hundreds of those, right? So it's and the reason is because they want to be passive, right? A lot of our investors are high net worth people, dentists, doctors, business owners and things like that. They want to be passive. They want to own real estate. They don't want to mess with it. So yeah, that's what we do. So.
And then for that
No.
fund, do you have a minimum investment?
50,000. Yeah, 50,000. Yes. Yeah, 50 is the minimum. Yes. Any other question? What?
Glenn, can you repeat the questions too? Because for
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I will do that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes, sir.
You also mentioned that you were thinking of, or we're gonna invest in a development for mobile home park or mobile home lots or something.
Yes. The question was we're looking at, we haven't done it yet, but we're looking at it to a mobile home subdivision like you're talking about, right? That's the question. And I believe that will be very, very prevalent in the next 10 years, right? Because of the housing shortage, because of all that. Now, the tricky thing is in some parts of the country, right? Why builders are sitting on their hands right now is because of the supply chain, right? There's hard, there's issues getting some stuff in some areas and getting stuff done, and the cost of it all. And when you're doing that, right, the first thing is the you've got to make sure the zoning works and everything else. But I believe it's going to be like Ben Carson, and I showed that picture. He was a big proponent of manufactured homes. He's just, this is what we need, because they can't just build 6 million homes, right? But they can serve, the beauty. How many people have ever been to a factory? Anybody? You've been to a factory, yeah. It's incredible. I mean, they build like, some of them will build eight to 12 floors a day, which is four to six houses a day, right? It's incredible. They're built in a controlled environment. They put them together, fantastic. You bring them out to the property, you tie it into the foundation, and it goes like that versus building too. So there's a lot of advantages with that too. So yes, sir.
On your fund, what's your exit strategy? I assume the fund itself, the group of investors, the fund itself owns all the property.
Correct.
Okay, so it's structured like a typical limited partnership.
Yeah, the properties, all the properties are collateral, right? They're collateral, right? So yeah, the investor is going to get the depreciation. You can compound it, but the goal is to sell it to a hedge fund. That's the goal. After you can see, most hedge funds, after you season it, there's so much capital on the sidelines. I mean, there's so much money out there. There's way more money than there is deals out there. Everybody says that, right?
What are they looking for? How many of those properties are they looking
for? It's not so much how many properties. I think what they're looking for is proven cash flow, right? Like right now, hedge funds, insurance companies, if they're getting 3% and 4%, they're happy. I had dinner with a guy the other night who he does these ETFs and all this other stuff, and their target is 3% to 4%. If you can show them a consistent 8 to 10%, and 10% more, they're all over it. So,
Have you ever seen a model like this with mobile homes
sold to a hedge fund.
Yeah, well, tons of mobile home parks, absolutely. Yeah, tons. I mean, that's what they do, right? It's just
But you're not a mobile home park.
no, but they all they care about is, yes, we researched this very carefully before we did it. Yeah, they're looking for solid cash flow is what they're looking for.
Have you heard about Mitchell?
What's that?
Mitchell, have you heard about it? They're a rates. They buy RV, luxury or park in all over the United States. And they're rates.
I haven't heard of them, to be honest with you, no. But
I have a question about your fund. So your fund is 506B, so you can accept your certificate.
pardon?
So your fund is a 506B.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So it's for our investors. Yes, that's what it is. So yeah, once again, I'm showing everybody here what we're doing, right? This is for educational purposes. Yes. Yeah. Any other questions?
How
Sure.
did you get into this niche? It's got to be a unique niche.
Good question. A long time ago, out of the paper. And the guy, yeah, how did I get into the industry, right? And the guy told me I had a corporate job that I got promoted 3 times, and I was making 30 or 40,000 a year. The guy said I could make $100,000 a year selling mobile homes, and he was right, I could. So I said, okay, I'll go do that. And then I've been in it ever since, right? I've been in different facets of it, but it was a God thing, right? I answered that out of the paper, and that I just did it. So, but
What is your assets under management right now?
how many under management? 540. I think right around 540.
Value of that is?
I mean, I don't know off the top of my head. I really don't, because a lot of them are investor houses, right? So they're not ours. They're not ours. We own. I believe we own like about 86, 88 houses. I think that's what we own. That's our portfolio that we own. So yeah. But I was going to say, I'll go back here just if anybody. Like,
Are the cities having a really hard time? So I guess it's a double question. One, once you set it on the lot, they still pay the taxes as like a car, like they don't pay the regular.
No. Okay,
taxes.
great question. Okay, so the question is on the taxes when you put the manufactured home on the land. Okay, so it's a title company function. If it's a personal property mobile home, it's separate. You just pay for the mobile home, right? When it's a title company function to make it real property. They combine the two together. They might break out the manufacturers. Some counties will break out the manufactured home and the land, but it's all on one tax statement, just like a single family house.
It's real property.
It's real property. Yeah, it's real property.
But very low value.
No, they're catching up now. Yeah, they're catching up. They know.
Side with the
Because
land,
the
so
mobile
the
home by
value
itself
does-
will pay like a $500 or $700 a year, I believe.
Well, it depends. It's okay. Okay, what they're going to do is this. Okay, they're going to assess what would that home sell for on the open market. So let's say it's a double wide that's on an acre tract of land that the typical one is probably worth $200,000 now. They're going to assess it at $200,000.
So the second question or second part of that is because they pay lower taxes than your average home, is that most of the cities are giving you a really hard time with putting any mobile homes anywhere close to the yard.
Well, okay, so as far as you're talking about the zoning for manufactured homes, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the cities, you cannot put a manufactured home in the city. There's no way. Dallas, Fort Worth, you can't do it. Houston has some different zoning here. I know that. Well, yeah, you can help Houston. I can. Yeah.
Houston, Conroe, surrounding counties, there are subdivisions of manufactured homes on land. Each home is on half acre, quarter acre. These are houses on land. They're going to be taxed individually, just like any other tax authority is going to do. They're not taxed as mobile homes, they're taxed as real houses. They sell as real houses. They're valued as real houses. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to depend on where it's at. I mean, we have bought homes, subdivisions, manufactured homes, subdivisions on land that we have sold, you sell it just exactly the same as a single family house. It's gonna be, the tax authority is gonna value it based on what that neighborhood does, not the individual home, but what the neighborhood does. And all of them set up very similar to a single family home. You wouldn't even know the difference when going to closing. We've done many of those deals. I love those.
City of Houston jurisdiction, like the land inside the city of Houston, they allow modular or mobile home subdivisions, but they don't allow mobile home park.
Yeah, right. Mobile home.
I would say in the city of Houston, you won't find any of this. Outer counties.
Montgomery County, right. That's the big one here. We buy there. Yeah, we buy in Montgomery.
Bend County, that's where you're gonna find, you're not gonna find these.
Yeah. You know, the last I heard, and this was a couple of years ago, but mobile home parks, there's only 10 new ones in America being built. More are being torn down and repurposed. They're not, they don't, the cities, they don't want them. They,
With the value of the land being so high, it just doesn't make sense anymore.
for the mobile home parks, that's exactly right.
Well,
That,
if you're trying to bring a new mobile home park into a community, you're gonna find all kinds of bureaucracy to get it in there. And most places, like Glenn said, do not want that.
no, you're,
If it's an existing park and you're gonna repurpose it.
Yeah.
Then you can do something. But if you're trying to bring something new in.
But now, not the mobile home park itself, but if you just like get a land subdivided and sell the lots on.
totally different, totally different.
So
Yeah,
that's a lot easier.
absolutely. And that's,
But you increase, if you're thinking of that, you increase your liability for a mobile home park because there's certain requirements that you have to put in. Electric, septic, sewer, water, right? If you're gonna get into doing anything outside of that, you wouldn't even wanna focus on a mobile home park. You would wanna focus on a big tract of land and cut that up. So an hour to an hour and a half outside of a big city, you would take and do something with houses at 5 to 10 acre tract ranchettes and do something there without any liabilities, and that's better. What you would have to do to do a mobile home park wouldn't make sense.
No, but that's what we were saying. So like if you do like half an acre lots
Mhm.
and you just do unrestricted, and they can put a house or they can put a mobile home.
Well, at that point, you're selling the land.
You're just selling the land.
And you don't care what they do.
That's
Your
right.
goal is to sell the land. at
That's
that
what I'm
point.
saying.
yeah,
It's not
So whatever
enough
they do
land.
with it after that, they're gonna have to go, the city, county, city council, all the different
Right.
administrative forces out there that dictate everything. But if I'm dividing the land, I'm just dividing the land. I
Yeah.
don't, do
It's not
whatever you
enough.
want to do after
It's not
that.
enough land though.
So that's a totally different model.
in a lot of areas of the country, though, you've got to do either or, right? I mean, a lot of places don't let you mix single family with manufactured. It's going to be either or. But yeah, most of the, like in the Dallas Fort Worth area, there were, most of them were acre, some were 2 acre tracts, right? Real nice manufactured home communities. And like, Dallas and Fort Worth are like 30 miles apart. If you draw a line probably 20 miles out into 40 miles out, that's where they all are, right? And so good school districts, they're out. And like I say, the thing about the taxes too, right? In 200 versus probably 350 now, 350 for a single family home, right? But the rents are proportionally much higher for a manufactured home than they are like we're probably at 1,700 a month for something like that. They may be at 20, at like 22, 23, 25, whatever. But it's proportionally for the dollars you're investing, you get a lot better return on the investment.
If you guys want to go check out a subdivision of mobile homes that are all owned by individuals on land off of 99 and 2920, there is a subdivision. And I've actually talked to the owner of that place before when they developed it. And it's all manufactured homes on land, and you buy them individually and they sell them individually. And they're sold just like single family homes.
All the ones I bought and sold were, you go to a title company, just like that.
Absolutely. No, that we close every transaction at a title company with the title commitment. If we can't get a title commitment, we're not going to close on the property. Yeah.
I double closed on everything.
Yeah.
There's some great community. I mean,
Yeah, they're right there by
this is a master plan.
Lakes, there's $4 million homes right there close.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And these homes, these mobile homes, I
Yeah.
$250,000. I mean, these are nice
Yeah.
properties.
So can you, with the mobile home rental model, do you get 1% rents? Is that what you're after?
More than that, usually. Oh, yeah. Yeah. More than that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's, no, definitely more than that. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Proportionally, they're better. They're better for dollars spent versus the rent. So, yes, sir.
How does the lifespan of a mobile home now compare to a site-built home?
Great question. The lifespan of a manufactured home is the same as, I believe it's the same. It's the same, right? A single family home, it always cracks me up. Like banks will finance some 1920 house that looks like a goat exploded in it, right? But they won't do a brand new manufacturer. But it literally, like I say, they're using the same components, right? So they should last really forever if you take care of them, right? So now back in the 70s, that was different. Yeah, no, yeah.
Rented are a little
Right.
bit rougher. It does, I mean, the ones, I buy homes and mobile homes, and the mobile homes, because the people that buy them are a little bit rougher, they abuse it more than a regular house. So
I'll say this, and that was why I didn't like mobile home parks. I didn't.
I wasn't
Yeah,
saying
no,
politically right.
yeah, no. It's you're gonna get like I say,
I think it depends on the community, right?
it does.
You go into a community that's a retirement community with mobile homes and make a freaking killer.
Retirement community is not good because they can't go up the stairs. There's a lot of rain. That's my
And it depends who you put in. Yeah.
I've done.
It depends who you put in there too.
Correct.
That's the,
As far as taking
Yeah.
care of the homes, right? It depends on the community. A
Right.
retirement community is going to take care of that.
I would maybe disagree with that from the standpoint of when it comes to rental properties as a whole, and I've had rental properties for the past 25 years. Whether you have rental properties that you're getting $1,000, $1,200 a month rent for, or you've got rental properties you get $2,500, $3,000 rent for. Tenants are tenants. And I can guarantee you, I've seen tenants in $3,000 a month houses that have torn them up way more than my tenants' $1,000 a month rent.
yeah.
So tenants are tenants, so that's just kind of a very open-ended question when it comes to that, in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
Tenants are tenants.
And that's why tenant screening is so important. Now, do you ever miss? Of course, everyone misses, right? I mean, it's not bad things happen to good people, divorces, different things happen. There's all kinds of circumstances, right? But it is tenant screening. That's why it's so critical to do tenant screening right. Yeah. Yes.
So the ones that you're looking for to like fix up, is there a certain age range that you?
Yeah, we're looking now. Yeah, we're looking now 2000 and above. That's what. There was time we were buying in the 90s and stuff like that. But probably 2000 and above right now, and that's the.
And then on top of that, are you finding that your repair costs that you're going into these homes are cheaper than flipping a, site-built home?
Not really.
So
No, I mean, and that's part of the formula, right? It's part of the formula today is inflation's real. I don't, whatever you do, wherever you go, carpets more, paints more. We just got to work the numbers backwards to get it, right? It's just
So you're saving the money because you're buying the manufacturer.
Correct.
At a lower cost.
Oh,
but your rehab is still.
Well, it's proportionate.
Yeah, it's
So if you took $50,000 to rehab a site-built home, proportionally it'd be $30,000 to rehab a mobile home, right? So if it was 70, it's 50. You see what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
not going to be the same cost as doing the site.
yeah. But you got, and some of the best deals we've ever gotten were the roughest houses, right? That needed, because of course, because people don't see it and they can't, I remember back when there's houses I had to walk in and go, ooh, and then I had to go back in and say, okay, picture it fixed up. And then I go, oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's where the money is, right? So,
Glenn, do you
yeah.
also find that after about 2000, they started changing the way that they were
Well, to some degree, the big turning point was like in the early 90s. That's when they started using OSB flooring and plywood and all that stuff instead of the particle board. That was the big change there, right? And then they added really every amenity that you could think of, right? You can really go and add every amenity that you want to, but yeah, they keep updating it. They keep up, they're doing more hardwood floors now, I think, than carpet and stuff like that. So yeah, so.
Based in Dallas, Fort Worth?
Yes, yes. Yeah, live in Fort Worth.
You find it different down here as far as the investments that have just, isn't it a little different down here as far as hurricane proofing?
If you get too close down, if you get too close to the Gulf, yeah, absolutely.
Too close it is,
Well, yeah, because we usually can't buy there because of the insurance. It does it throw. Yeah, Montgomery's very similar, very similar.
What the original home was bought for was what wind certification it had.
Right.
So the 3 or 4 when it was placed.
Correct. Correct.
I never even looked at those, but the sold like hotcakes.
Yeah. Well, my forecast is in the next 10 years they're gonna sell better because it's just there's no affordable housing. There's just no affordable housing. So that's what I think. So. Good questions. You guys are smart. You guys are really a smart group here. Yeah. So anything else?
All right.
Very good.
Everybody?
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Testing. Perfect. All right. Let me move over on my slides. All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming out to our SDI Race Social with Glenn. Another